In the vast expanse of the American frontier, where untamed landscapes stretched far and wide, Native American cultures thrived with their profound connection to the land. These diverse indigenous communities, each with its unique customs and traditions, held food as a cornerstone of their societies. The Native American cultures on the American frontier were richly varied, encompassing tribes such as the Apache, the Lakota, Cherokee, and many more. They inhabited a vast array of environments, from the dense forests of the Northeast to the arid plains of the Southwest. Despite their differences, one common thread wove through their tapestry: the paramount significance of food. Food was not merely sustenance for these Native American societies. It held deep cultural, spiritual, and social significance. It was a way of honoring their connection to the earth and the spirits that resided within it. Each meal was a celebration of abundance, a tribute to the animals, plants, and water sources that sustain their communities. Welcome back to History in Minutes, and welcome to the heart of the American frontier, where cultures merged and history unfolded. This is where the Native Americans forged a connection with the land and its provisions. Food sources and staples. In terms of food sources, Native Americans on the American frontier displayed an incredible resourcefulness and adaptability, relying on a combination of hunting, gathering, fishing, and agricultural practices to sustain themselves. Hunting played a vital role in Native American societies as a means of acquiring meat. Tribes such as the Lakota, Apache, and Cheyenne depended on hunting for survival. Bison, deer, elk, and other small game animals were all pursued with great skill and reverence. Native hunters honed their tracking abilities and utilized various hunting techniques, including stealthy approaches and well-aimed arrows or spears. The meat obtained from hunting not only provided sustenance, but also held cultural and ceremonial significance, with every part of the animal being utilized. In addition to hunting, Native Americans were adept gatherers, skilled in identifying and harvesting wild plants, fruits, and nuts. This practice was crucial for supplementing their diet and adding diversity to their meals. Berries, roots, mushrooms, and other edible plant species were gathered from forests, meadows, and plains. Native American women, in particular, played a significant role in gathering, passing down their knowledge of edible plants from generation to generation. The Native Americans living near rivers, lakes, and coastal areas also capitalized on the abundance of fish and shellfish. These aquatic resources provided an additional source of protein and nutrients. Tribes such as the Pacific Northwest Coast tribes, Pueblo peoples, and Iroquois skillfully employed techniques such as fishing nets, traps, and spears to catch fish like salmon, trout, and sturgeon. Shellfish such as clams, oysters, and mussels were collected along coastal regions, providing a valuable food source rich in vitamins and minerals. Among the staple foods in Native American diets, corn, or what they called maize, held a place of utmost importance. Native tribes, including the Cherokee, Iroquois, and Hopi, cultivated various varieties of corn, each with its specific characteristics and uses. Corn served as a dietary staple, providing essential carbohydrates and nutrients. It was not only consumed as whole kernels, but it was also ground into cornmeal or flour for making bread, porridge, or other dishes. Corn played a significant role in Native American rituals and ceremonies, symbolizing fertility and abundance. Beans and squash were other two essential components of the Native American diet, often cultivated alongside the corn. This trio formed the cornerstone of the Three Sisters agricultural system that was practiced by tribes such as the Iroquois and the Cherokee. In this system, the three crops were interplanted, with corn stalks providing support for the climbing beans, while squash plants shaded the soil, preventing weed growth. This symbiotic relationship enhanced soil fertility and increased crop yields. The combination of beans, squash, and corn provided a well-rounded nutritional profile, with beans supplying protein, squash offering vitamins and fiber, and corn providing carbohydrates. Food preparation and cooking methods. The natives employed various traditional cooking techniques and utilized specific tools and utensils to prepare their food, showcasing their ingenuity and resourcefulness. One of the primary cooking methods used by Native Americans was pit cooking. This technique involved digging a pit into the ground, which was then lined with rocks or heated stones. The food, typically meat or root vegetables, were placed in the pit along with hot stones. Layers of leaves, grass, or animal hides were used to cover the food, and the entire pit was then covered with soil. The hot stones imparted gentle, radiant heat, slowly cooking the food to perfection. Pit cooking was not only a practical method, but also allowed for communal gatherings and feasts, bringing people together around the cooking site. Open fire roasting and smoking were also common cooking methods. Native Americans would skewer meat or fish on sticks and roast them over an open fire. This technique ensured even cooking and added a smoky flavor to the food. In addition to roasting, smoking was employed as a preservation method. Meat and fish were hung over a fire, and the smoke acted as a natural preservative, extending the shelf life of the food. Tools and utensils played a vital role in Native American food preparation. For processing grains, such as corn, grinding stones and mortar were used. Grinding stones were large, heavy stones used to crush grains into flour or meal. Mortars, usually made of stone or wood, were used for grinding smaller quantities of grains and seeds. Native American women skillfully used these tools to transform corn into various forms, such as cornmeal or dough for bread. Cooking vessels were also essential in Native American culinary practices. Pottery was a common material used to create cooking vessels. These vessels were often shaped by hand and then fired in open fires or kilns. Pottery cooking vessels were excellent for simmering stews, boiling soups, and even baking. The clay material provided gentle, consistent heat distribution, ensuring even cooking. More than pottery, woven baskets were used for cooking certain types of food. Native American tribes, such as the Apache and the Pueblo peoples, would weave baskets from materials like reeds or grasses. These baskets were used for steaming food. The baskets were lined with leaves or wrapped in moistened cloth, and the food, often vegetables or fish, was placed inside. Baskets were then set over hot coals or submerged in boiling water, allowing the steam to cook the food. Seasonal and regional variations. Native Americans on the frontier also exhibited remarkable adaptability to different climates and environments, leading to diverse regional variations in their food sources and culinary practices. The Plains tribes, such as the Lakota and the Cheyenne, navigated the vast grasslands and adapted their food practices to the abundant resources available. They developed a deep reliance on bison hunting, following the seasonal movements of the herds. Bison not only provided meat, but also materials for clothing, tools, and shelter. The Plains tribes developed specialized hunting techniques, such as buffalo jumps and communal hunts, to efficiently capture and utilize the bison. Coastal tribes, such as the Kwakiutl and the Tlingit in the Pacific Northwest, thrived on the abundance of marine resources. They expertly utilized rivers, lakes, and coastal areas for fishing and gathering shellfish. Salmon, halibut, and other fish were caught using nets, spears, or traps, while shellfish like clams and oysters were collected along the shorelines. The coastal tribes' culinary traditions centered around seafood, incorporating smoked and dried fish into their meals. Gathering and preservation of seasonal foods played a crucial role in Native American food practices. To ensure a steady food supply throughout the year, various preservation techniques were employed. Drying was a popular method, where food items like meat, fruits, and vegetables were carefully dried in the sun or over smoky fires. Smoking was another technique, enhancing preservation while adding that distinct flavor. These preserved foods could be stored for long periods and used when fresh resources were scarce. In colder regions, Native Americans prepared for the harsh winter months by creating food caches. These caches consisted of carefully stored provisions, including dried and smoked meats, fish, and other preserved foods. They were strategically placed in protected areas, such as caves or underground storage pits, ensuring a readily available food source during the winter. The act of creating and sharing food caches fostered communal support and strengthened social bonds within Native American communities. Traditional foods and culinary practices. The traditional foods and culinary practices of Native Americans showcased a rich tapestry of regional and cultural diversity. Each tribe had its unique food traditions and preparation methods. For instance, the Navajo tribe's cuisine incorporated corn-based dishes like Navajo fry bread and roasted mutton. The Ojibwe tribe relied on wild rice, maple syrup, and fish in their meals, reflecting their natural surroundings. The Seminole tribe in the southeastern region incorporated corn, beans, and squash into their traditional dishes. The seasonal and regional variations in Native American food practices showcase their ability to adapt to diverse environments and utilize available resources creatively. Through their culinary traditions, they celebrated their cultural heritage, strengthened community ties, and maintained a deep reverence for the natural world and its offerings. Impact of European contact. The European contact with Native Americans on the American frontier brought significant changes to their food culture and culinary practices. With the arrival of Europeans, new food items were introduced to Native American communities. Domesticated animals, such as cattle, pigs, chickens, they were all brought over, offering a new source of meat and other animal products. European crops, including wheat, potatoes, and various vegetables, were also introduced. These new food items added diversity to Native American diets and expanded their culinary possibilities. The impact of European contact extended beyond the introduction of new ingredients. Native Americans also adapted their food preparation and cooking techniques to incorporate European influences. They embraced European tools and utensils, such as iron pots and knives, which replaced traditional cooking implements. Native Americans quickly recognized the advantages of these new tools in terms of efficiency and durability. Native Americans adopted new cooking methods, such as baking and frying, which were commonly used in European cuisine. They experimented with combining European ingredients and techniques with their traditional recipes, resulting in unique and fusion dishes. Native American food on the American frontier is a testament to the resourcefulness, adaptability, and deep connection to the land that characterized their cultures. It reflected their close relationship with nature and their ability to sustain themselves through hunting, gathering, fishing, and agriculture. Native American food traditions held immense cultural significance, being tied to rituals, ceremonies, and communal feasts that celebrated their heritage. This ends today's video. If you learned something new, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content worth your every minute.